And you can see I have several methods created that use some of the assert methods. So this first one is called test assert array equals. And what this test function will do is it creates two arrays, and then it uses this assert statement, and it passes the expected array with the actual array. So this is what's expected, and this is what is actual. And so for this test to pass, it has to see if these two arrays are equal. If they're equal, then the test pass. If they're not equal, then the test fails. And so we can run this test. If I just go over here and hit run. And you can see that the green check mark means that the test passed. So if I changed one of these values to 5, what this is saying is I'm passing it, and I want to assert that the two arrays are equal. That's what this assert statement is saying. These two arrays have to be equal. If they're not equal, then this test is going to fail. And so I'm going to pass these two arrays, and they're different this time. So when I run this, you can see that the test fails. And it will tell you, if you look down here at all the output, it'll tell you even where they differ. So they differ at index 3. So it expected a 4, but there was a 5 there. Okay, and so that's how the assert array equals method works. So then let's look at the assert equals. So I can pass it two strings. And so this is asserting that these two things are equal. If they're equal, the test passes. If they are not equal, the test will fail. So I can run that. And since text and text are the same, the test does pass. And then we can assert false. So this assert method will pass if some condition is false, right? So the condition is that 2 is equal to 3. And since that's false, this whole test will pass because that's what I'm asserting. I'm asserting that the condition is false. So when I run that, and you can see that. And then assert not null. So this test case will pass if the object is not null. And when I create a new object, of course, that is not null, so this will also pass. Assert not the same. So this test case will pass if two objects are not the same object. And so you know when you create two objects, they are actually two different objects in memory. And so this test will pass because they are not the same. Test assert null. So assert null will pass if the object is null. And so when I create a variable and I assign it null and I pass that to this assert method, it will pass. And then test assert the same. So this will pass if these two things are the same. And so 62 is the same as the object 62. And then assert true, so this will pass if the condition is true. Okay, and so if I were to change that to 3, the condition is false, so this whole test case is going to fail. Okay, so I'll change that back. And so that's what an assert statement is. It is a statement that you want to be true in order for the test case to pass. And I can go ahead and I can run all of them at once by just hitting the run button. And each IDE will look a little different. So if you're using NetBeans or Eclipse, the way that you run the tests may be slightly different. So you can see that we didn't fix this. So I can go back here and run it again. And you can see that all my tests pass. So what I would recommend is that you download this starter file and the class and then the test class, and then open them up in your own IDE. And I am using JUnit 5, so that is important. There are some differences between JUnit 5 and 4, so make sure you are using JUnit 5. And then just add some other assertions. You can go to the link on the page and just play with some of the other assertions and see how they work.